Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I see everyone is joining. My name is Max Kushniruk. I'm a legal assistant at Fintech Harbor Consulting. Please type if you can hear us and if you can see us, so we will understand that everything is fine and we can keep going regarding the webinar. Please use the chat in the Zoom to clarify and confirm that everything works fine. Okay. Sounds great. So today we are going to discuss the VASP in Poland and what are the requirements of obtaining the VASP, what activities you can perform under this permit, and why Polish crypto authorization is still popular solution in terms of crypto regulation. So our webinar, as usual, is expected no longer than an hour. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop a question directly to our Zoom chat, and we will try to answer to all of them during this webinar. And also, as usual, at the end of the meeting, as in every webinar, we will provide you with exciting bonuses for our attendance. So stay with us until the end, and you will have the opportunity to secure your improved conditions for you starting your crypto business. And I would like to introduce today's speaker, a fintech lawyer, a legal project manager with international blockchain experience across the various jurisdictions, Bogdan Popovchenko. Word to you, Bogdan.
Thank you, Max. Thank you for your intro. Dear friends, dear colleagues, welcome everyone. It's nice to see familiar faces on this webinar. We notice all the nicknames that are adding to us. So today we're going to discuss Polish crypto registration advantages and disadvantages. So let's get started. So let's start with a traditional discussion of the current size of the Poland cryptocurrency market. So according to a statistical latest report, the cryptocurrency market in Poland is set to occur more than $300 million in revenue in 2023, with a forecasted annual growth rate at 11.48%. The Polish cryptocurrency market is projected to raise around more than $500 million in revenue by 2027. So to imagine how huge this amount is, it would actually mean that the Polish cryptocurrency market size will be more than 3 times larger than the Turkey cryptocurrency market size. So $300 million versus $100 million, two times larger population will have 3 times less crypto economy. So let's discuss the Poland's role on the EU cryptocurrency market. So currently, Poland is a flagship in EU cryptocurrency market. So according to official registers of EU member states, almost half of 2,000 registered virtual asset service providers in 27 EU jurisdictions are located in Poland. So currently, there are more than 940 officially registered cryptocurrency companies operating in Poland. So as you can see from this list, there are only 2 other jurisdictions who have more than 100 of registered officially VASPs. This list includes Lithuania and Italy. Previously, Estonia also was in the list of top 3 jurisdictions in European Union, but unfortunately, after 2021 and its regulatory changes, the current size of Estonia cryptocurrency market and officially registered WASP is significantly lower because of minimum initial capital requirements of 250,000 euros. So what actually is a Polish virtual assets service providers regulatory framework? So currently, there is no minimum capital requirements for obtaining Polish WASP authorization. There is a single authorization for all type of activities. It includes crypto to fiat exchange, it includes crypto to crypto exchange, brokerage in exchange, and custody services. So why is it important to know that it's a single authorization for all activities? For example, there are lots of other jurisdictions, for example, Canada, where you can obtain one authorization, but for different activities. So it's a competitive advantage of Poland and WASP regime, since we have four types of different activities within a single authorization. So the standard corporate tax for corporate income tax for VASPs in Poland is 19%, which is actually not high. It's below average in European Union. Currently, there is almost any substance requirements in terms of having local office or employees in Poland. The regime provides us with a definition of crypto assets, and the timeline for obtaining a VASP authorization from A to Z is 1 month, which actually is significantly low. So to move further, let's discuss what actually is the cryptocurrency definition according to Polish and European legislation. So currently, Poland doesn't have a specific law or national approach to regulation of cryptocurrencies. Its regulation is based on EU Fifth Anti-Money Laundering Directive and its national implementation, the Polish AML Act. So as some of our viewers may remember from our previous webinars, the regulation has direct effect and the directive needs national implementation. So that's why we have Polish AML Act. So according to Article 2 of Polish AML Act, virtual currency means a digital representation of value and is not a legal tender issued by government agencies or foreign central banks. So it actually means that it's not an official currency of any jurisdiction. It's not an international payment unit. It's not electronic money as defined in the Payment Service Act 2011. So basically, electronic money is numbers that you can see on your bank account. So when you enter some amount to your bank account, you see that you obtain absolutely similar amount on it. So that is electronic money. And the definition provides us that it is different from virtual currencies. And it's also not a financial instrument and not a bill of exchange or check. So as we can see, the Poland's approach to cryptocurrencies is very friendly, since it doesn't make any strict regulations. It uses something that European Union requires to implement and nothing more. So regarding requirements for obtaining crypto registration in Poland, currently it's one of the simplest regimes in entire European Union. Basically, it requires us to have three things. The first one is no criminal record. So Article 129M of the Polish AML Act requires all the directors and authorized persons of the company to have a criminal record checked and not to be sued for intentional crimes in past. You need also to have knowledge and experience in the field of digital assets. The Article 129 requires you to have some knowledge and expertise in digital assets. However, it's not very strict requirement. So basically, you can fulfill it by passing some IML courses with a certification. So it's quite simple. It requires you less than a week. So basically, any problems and it can be made distantly. And the initial capital. So as we discussed with you before, for obtaining VASP authorization, there is absolutely no minimum capital requirements. However, for a limited liability company, you need to have initial capital of 5,000 Polish zloty, which is not so high. It's an equivalent of 1,150 US dollars. So to compare how simple this regime is, we provided you with a few examples. So we can compare Poland with other jurisdictions such as Lithuania, where virtual asset service providers need to have an office and a local senior manager. Also, they are required to have at least 125,000 euros minimum authorized capital, and Estonia, where the minimum authorized capital for virtual currency service providers for all four types of activities that we discussed is 250,000 euros. So as you can see from this brief compression, Poland is definitely much simpler than these options. So let's move further and discuss what specific activities fall under the VASP authorization. So the first one, according to Article 2 of Polish AML Act, WASPs can legally provide the crypto to fiat exchange services. It's very simple. It's an operation when you, for example, change British pound for Bitcoin or US dollar for, or you change US dollar for Ethereum. So the second is crypto to crypto exchange, is exchange between different types of virtual currencies, Bitcoin on Ethereum, USDT on Bitcoin, and so on. The third one is brokerage in exchange, is assisting in transactions between user. So, well, the simplest example of it is peer-to-peer platforms. When your platform provides a possibility for different users to exchange cryptocurrencies or cryptocurrencies to fiat between themselves. And the last but not least is custody services. So the custody service is a service of providing secure digital storage for cryptocurrencies and tracking clients' cryptocurrencies. So it's the most interesting service from this list, because if to compare with holding traditional assets or traditional currencies, it requires the requirements are very strict. To obtain a license that is called EMI, that will allow you to hold the traditional assets or currencies, you need to have at least 350,000 euros as minimum paid capital. And here, there is almost any requirements for obtaining the possibility of provisioning custody services. So let's move further and discuss the roadmap for obtaining Polish WASP authorization. So as we upper discussed, the procedure is quietly simple. It includes 4 main stages. The first one requires obtaining PASL or and EU POP activation. So PASL is basic identification number. It requires director 2 times visits the embassy. The second stage includes company formation, preparation of all necessary documents to incorporate a company in Poland. The third stage is submission of a full application to the regulator and preparation of all required AML policies to further register a cryptocurrency company. And the last is obtaining approval and inclusion of the company in the cryptocurrency register. So after the first stage, your company will obtain a certificate that proves that it is legally registered in the registered virtual asset service providers in Poland. So it may sound a little bit complicated, but believe me, it is one of the simplest way to provide such services. The entire procedure usually lasts a month, and this month is required to build entire infrastructure to allow you legally operate in European Union. So let's discuss a little bit specific of taxation of cryptocurrency companies in Poland. So the corporate income tax in Poland is 19%. As I mentioned you before, it's definitely not very high in terms of European Union. There is also a capital gain tax of 19%. This type of tax implies on the positive difference between the sale price and the purchase price of the assets, and the WAT basic rate of 23%. However, generally, the only tax that you need to know in Poland for virtual asset service providers is corporate income tax. Since WAT doesn't apply to crypto transactions, there is a legislation and lots of different court decisions, both in Poland and European Union, which exempt crypto transaction from the purposes of VAT. And capital gain tax also usually do not apply to virtual asset service providers in Poland, since they do not earn money on holding crypto assets and their subsequent sales. So basically, this tax can apply to individuals that use VASP services, but not on a virtual asset service provider. So the most interesting part, personally, from my perspective, is the use cases of the Polish WASP authorization. So after registering a company in Poland, obtaining a WASP authorization, and all the steps that we upper discussed, you may ask us, so what basically I'm going to obtain after it all? Well, there are three main ways of using Poland cryptocurrency authorization. The first one is, of course, operating absolutely legally within Poland. You will be able to provide direct marketing, direct sending of proposals to your clients, providing them with call to action without absolutely any restrictions regarding the activities that are allowed for WASP. The second is provision of services in the rest of the European Union. However, here is better not to provide clients with any direct marketing. The clients need to come to your company by their own request. And the third one is provision of services for the jurisdictions where there is no national regulation of virtual asset service providers, and they are not required to have license or authorization. So by making this presentation, we made preliminary research and defined for you that, for example, there are lots and lots of different huge jurisdictions where you can operate without obtaining a national license based on foreign. For example, in Kenya, with population more than 53 million citizens, you can legally operate holding an authorization from a foreign company. The how we have with Argentina. So as you can see, using WASP authorization from Poland, you can operate globally, cover lots of different jurisdictions, and it is a perfect solution for a minimum legal infrastructure for your virtual asset service provider. So what are the benefits of obtaining Polish crypto authorization? So the first one is, of course, the timeline. So Poland is one of the fewest countries globally that allows you to obtain a WASP authorization just within a month, building entire legal infrastructure, preparation of all necessary documents, entering to beneficiary register, entering to virtual asset service providers register, and so on, can be done less than within a month. For compression, there are similar regimes in Estonia and Lithuania, but they can take more than 3 months to obtain WASP authorization. And in Poland, it can be done just within a month. So the requirements, as we upper discussed, there is almost any substance requirements. You only need to have a compliance officer. However, we always recommend to our clients who are considering registered a Polish virtual asset service provider to include at least two shareholders in the company structure, since it allows us to avoid social insurance contribution of 1,450 Polish zloty per month, or it is approximately equivalent of 4,000 US dollars per year. So if we add at least one shareholder additional to a Polish company, at least for 10%, we will be legally allowed not to pay any social security contributions and not to register in social insurance system. The third advantage is marketing. So as you may know that nowadays it's almost impossible to provide any direct marketing in the hugest marketing platforms such as Google or Meta without having legal infrastructure. So Polish WASP authorization is sufficient to market your services by Google and Meta. And the last, and personally, I guess the most important, is budget. That since there is almost any substance requirements, no requirements for local office, no requirements for having minimum authorized capital, the Polish WASP authorization is definitely one of the most cost-efficient solutions to start your crypto business. So let's discuss the next question. So for your decision making, if you are currently selecting Poland or any other jurisdiction, we want to provide you with a key basic recommendations to consider by choosing it. So first of all, you should consider client's geography. Basically, it should be a key when you are determining the license and jurisdictions that you need. The second is reputation and payment solutions. So if the jurisdiction doesn't have sufficient reputation, basically it would be harder for you to obtain any bank account or MEI account and so on. The third one is taxation and marketing and market access. You need to calculate both taxation of the level of the company and on the level of the profit distribution to its beneficiaries. And the last, and personally the most important, is authorization and operational expenses. So you need to analyze from the beginning all the project operational expenses at least for 1 year. And after analyzing it, you can define the most optimal solution for you. So thank you for your attention, Max. I'm transferring the word to you.
Yep. Thank you, Bogdan. As we already know, that the crypto license and regulation in Poland are popular and highly discussed within the crypto communities, not only like recently, but like for years. And I'm confident that today we have covered all the key and vital aspects of it. So regarding the Q&A part of our webinar, so it seems we have a lot of questions in the chat. Also, we are going to take into our discussion the questions which you left during the webinar. So since our time is limited, we'll do our best to answer to all of them. But if we will miss your questions, don't worry, we will get back to you separately through the phone, email, WhatsApp, Telegram, Skype, and so on in order to answer to them and discuss it with you directly. Okay, so let's begin. First question is, what we must do for a crypto license? Is there only one license that we must have, or there are more that we must receive? And literally, what is the cost? Bogdan?
Yeah, so thank you, Max. So a great question. So basically, the determination of is there is required one license or few depends greatly on the jurisdictions of your clients. So if we're discussing Poland, the procedure involves preparation of all necessary foundational documents for the company, drafting AML policies, and entering the company both to the crypto registered and the register of beneficiaries. From our personal experience and practice of our clients, in most of cases, obtaining a single license is sufficient for the start of the company's operations. Regarding the cost, so the entire legal infrastructure from company incorporation, preparation of all necessary AML policies, all necessary documents, formation of application, and obtaining approval from virtual asset service providers registered in Poland will cost 8,000 euros without VAT. So it's basically included in this price. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, sounds great. Also, just we have one more question which was already discussed in our webinar, but we can maybe expand it more regarding what are the benefits of obtaining the VASP license in Poland.
Well, it's a great question. Yeah. But no, it's a great question. So basically, there is absolutely no difference if we obtain a license or authorization. The key is that we have sufficient legal infrastructure. So personally, I think that there are tons of different advantages, but I want to focus on the fifth main. The first one is, of course, trust and reputation. So in eyes of your clients, regulators, partners, having a license or authorization is a significant advantage since your company is operated in a wide legal field. I guess that it is absolutely important, especially in nowadays after this case with FTX and the current situation with Binance. So having a legal infrastructure is always a reputational advantage for your business. The second is possibility of provision of direct marketing services. So as I upper told, nowadays it's absolutely impossible to market your services, I mean cryptocurrency services in a wide way on Google and Meta without obtaining WASP authorization or a license depending on the jurisdiction. The third one is banking solutions. Without having WASP authorization or license, depending on absolutely any type of regulated activities, it is almost impossible to open a bank account. And even if it would be possible to open a bank account in some not very reputable banks, the commissions would be significantly higher than for regulated businesses. The fourth is personally from our experience, it's collaboration with large platforms. So, for example, one of our clients approached us to set a partnership relations with a huge cryptocurrency platform. I cannot unfortunately mention the name of the platform, but most of huge cryptocurrency businesses with whom you want to collaborate will ask you about your legal infrastructure. And it may be absolutely any jurisdiction, and the Polish WASP authorization, since it's registered in European Union, it's absolutely in the legal framework of anti-money laundering directive is sufficient for it. And the last but not least is, of course, the possibility to provide your services without any fines. So the Article 153 of Polish AML Act provides us with a fine for provision virtual asset service provider services without registration. It can be up to 100,000 Polish zloty, so actually more than 20,000 euros.
Okay, thanks for the answer, Bogdan. Also, we will move on. Regarding the next question, just is there any national regulations in crypto licenses in Poland?
Well, as we discussed before, generally there is no single national legal framework in Poland. So the regulation in all European countries is based on IMLD5, and Poland currently doesn't have its national regulation. However, from our practice, it is rather a major and significant advantage because typically jurisdictions with national regulation provide us with a much stricter requirements. So, for example, you may know that WASP authorization in Germany is divided on two different steps, and it's divided on virtual asset service providers and custody services. And as you could mention that Germany is not included in top list of virtual asset service provider jurisdictions. So I hope that I answered your question.
Okay, yeah, thanks. And if we're speaking regarding the customers, which right now are the startups, right? So we have probably the same question from such customer. So what is the first step if we are new company?
Well, first of all, you need to define the audience of your business and to build a minimum sufficient legal infrastructure. It is always advised to startups to have presence in almost any jurisdiction where they operate. But we here at Fintech Harbor prefer a practical approach. So basically, it is better to have at least minimum legal infrastructure for your global activities, and obtaining authorization in any jurisdiction, but especially in Poland, would be enough for you for a first year of your existence, definitely. It will be enough for you to test your activities, to understand the market, and in case you develop, to look on other jurisdictions, licenses, and so on. But for the beginning, it would be enough.
Yeah, sounds great. So literally, I also would like to recommend for you to, first of all, to have a fully understanding regarding your business model, right? So based on your business model, what kind of activities you're going to perform. If you already know your client area, for example, right? So, and you have some kind of business plan or marketing plan, so it will be better to have full understanding and legal support in terms of the different solutions which are available for you based on your timeline, on your requirements, and on your budget, right? So literally, we also would recommend for you to have a direct contact with lawyers in order to understand what kind of license solutions you can choose from. And if we're speaking regarding next question, it's a very interesting question. How do you compare the VASP in Poland and VASP in Lithuania?
Well, it's a great question. We always like to compare. So basically, I would like to start with the key features. So what we have in Poland, no requirements to minimum capital, no demands for local office and local employees. We have 4 types of regulated activities, and the timeline of incorporation and obtaining WASP authorization within 1 month. I'm very sorry. And in Lithuania, thank you, the requirements for minimum authorized capital starts from 125,000 euros. We need to have a local office, we need to have a senior manager, and we can operate absolutely similar activities than in Poland, and the process of company formation, obtaining all necessary authorization, finding an office and this local senior manager can start from 2 months. So if to compare these 2 different regimes, personally, I would advise to most of the clients the option with Poland, since it's significantly cheaper. So if you are already existing crypto business and you have a WASP authorization in Poland, of course, you may consider Lithuania as something additional, but for 95% of all other cases, the Polish WASP authorization would be a better solution, because Lithuania looks at almost any parameter. 125,000 euros minimum authorized capital, local office, local senior manager, more than 7 times fewer population. And within all these advantages, I guess that the Polish WASP authorization regime would definitely be winner. I hope that I answered your question.
Yes, thank you. And if we're speaking regarding as a comparison of the WASP in Czech Republic, so I see the same question. If you can just add some kind of points of the and explaining the difference between WASP in Poland and WASP in Czech Republic, it will be great, because we have several questions in this term.
Yep. So basically, the WASP in Czech Republic is also a good regime. It has also no minimum capital requirements for obtaining WASP authorization. The timeline of incorporation and obtaining WASP authorization may be a little longer than we have in Poland. The most significant difference here is the regulatory approach, and the fact that the Polish virtual asset service providers regulatory framework began operating earlier than the Czech Republic, and it usually goes much smoother. So in terms of Czech Republic, it can be considered as a potential alternative to Poland. However, we have some disadvantages in terms of timeline, in terms of procedure, and in terms of population, of course. The population of Czech Republic is much lower than we have in Poland, but I would suggest that we can consider a Czech Republic WASP as in plus to Poland. But if to choose between them, from our personal experience, from experience of our clients, the Polish has more advantages.
Yes, so I also would like to add that starting from the point that the Polish WASP was one of the first European countries that started to provide this, services under the WASP authorization. since November 2021. So literally, they have a very good background where you have an opportunity to find a better and more reliable and secure banking solutions, payment solutions. Also, I see that we have several questions regarding the bank account opening for Polish VASP company. So I would like to answer that you can open easily a bank account both in EMEI or traditional local banks. If we're speaking in terms of current situation, so we have different solutions through our partners where they are ready to cooperate with the different crypto-friendly companies, right, including the Polish WASP, which also has an opportunity to provide with the payment solutions. They have an opportunity to provide with the services of the multi-account, accept and send the funds and crypto, including the crypto account, so you can easily accept both fiat and crypto and make exchange inside of this account. And if we're speaking regarding the opening a bank account in traditional Polish banks, so yes, it's possible, but the main, not maybe disadvantage, but requirement, it's to have a physical presence of the all founders and the final beneficiaries directly in Poland on the moment of the bank account opening. Regarding the solutions which I already mentioned, they do not require to have a physical presence and can be opened within a month, literally without your physical presence for your company with the Polish WASP. Yes, so if we're moving to the next question, is Poland a good country to register for a cryptocurrency exchange? Bogdan.
Well, so I guess I should think a little bit about it, but I guess that most of our viewers after the presentation understood that basically it is. Currently, Poland is a flagship in the industry of virtual asset service providers, at least in European Union. So as we can remember, 940 virtual asset service providers from 2000 in entire European Union are registered from Poland. So as we can know that since almost half of all virtual asset service providers in Poland are registered from European Union are registered in Poland, so we definitely can say that it's a good country to register a cryptocurrency exchange. And also, additionally, from the perspective of scope of services, generally virtual all the four types of activities: crypto to fiat exchange, crypto to crypto exchange, brokerage and exchange and custody services cover all the required activities for registering legally for a legal registered of cryptocurrency exchange. From if to answer your question, so yeah, Poland is definitely a good country to register a cryptocurrency exchange, and especially if you are considering working with European users.
Yeah, also, I see that we have several questions where the viewers asking regarding possibilities to open such company and obtain such crypto authorization in Poland for non-EU residents or from the third countries residents. So I would like to answer that it's more than a possible. The main requirement is that the founders of the company, which has to be at least two, right? So according to the Polish authorities, they're required to have at least two founders for the company in Poland. In case of only one owner of the company, so in this case, you will be required to make the monthly social payments in amount of, if I'm not mistaken, 2,000 Polish złotych. So in this case, if you have at least two founders, which can be both EU and EU non-EU residents, so in this case, you are going to avoid such monthly payments and working easily without any issues under the WASP license in Poland. WASP authorization, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Max, if you allow, I would like to supplement a little. Currently, they have a little bit decreased this amount for monthly 1,450 Polish zloty. However, in terms of a year, it's also a significant amount. So basically, it would be almost 4,000 euros in equivalent. So in general, we advise for all our clients to add additional shareholder to the structure to avoid unnecessary social security contributions.
Yes, and the main point is that you or maybe your partners, which are going to be the founders of the company, they have to be a residents of non-sanctioned countries, right? So, for example, if you're going to have or if you would like to open a company and you or maybe your partners, they have the passport or citizenship of the sanctioned country, like a Russian Federation, Belarus, and so on. And so in this case, it will not allow it. So in both terms of the company formation and in terms of the bank account opening. So I would like to mention that. Okay. And
Yeah.
also also we have another question regarding the Spain. So with this license, can I develop my business exchange in Spain? Can we open a bank account in Spain for my company created with a VASP authorization in Poland?
Sí, so gracias muchos por su pregunta. Es una pregunta muy buena. Para responder en manera general, una empresa registra con autorización VASP en Polonia puede ofrecer servicios en el jurisdictions in European Union. And if to answer for our viewers who cannot speak Spanish, so basically it is absolutely possible. Sorry, I like so much questions in Spanish, and I try to practice it on almost any opportunities that I have. So basically, we can provide services from Polish WASP to almost any other jurisdiction. However, it is very recommendable that the clients need to come to you by their own request. So in terms, if we want to provide any strict marketing services, sending commercial proposals, and so on, it is better to obtain a national authorization in addition to Poland. However, if the clients approach your services without your strict marketing or or by funding you by general information provided on your website, you can operate by Polish WASP authorization. In terms of bank account, like it's absolutely possible to open bank account in Spain for Polish company. However, in terms of fact that it is a Polish company, it would be better to open it in other jurisdictions. But since in European Union the regulatory framework is harmonized, basically there is almost any difference in which European bank account you're going to open. So I hope that answer your question, and muchas gracias por su pregunta.
Yes, it certainly was a question from one of our viewers who left the request on our website regarding the webinar, and he wrote this question in Spanish. So yes, so I would like to explain this to our viewers for this maybe miscommunication or misunderstandings they have right now. Okay, thank you, Bogdan. And also moving from Spain, the question is regarding the United Arab Emirates. Can I apply a license from Dubai?
Well, absolutely. So, as my colleague Max Hopper told, there is absolutely no restrictions in terms of citizenship or residence for obtaining a virtual asset service provider authorization in Poland. So, if you are not a citizen of sanctioned jurisdiction, if you do not reside there, so there is absolutely no restriction to obtaining a WASP authorization for UAE residents and citizens. And also, if the question is regarding obtaining a licenses in UAE, so we specialize both in mainland and free zones regulation. We have experience in opening and registering crypto companies, obtaining all necessary licenses in ADGM, DIFC, DMCC free zones. However, from our experience and currently practice, it's better to open within DMCC since there may be some problems with other free zones nowadays for cryptocurrency exchange operations. And also, if there is such a necessity, we can register to you for Dubai mainland if you want to operate for UAE residents. So regardless, if you want to register a company in Poland or UAE, we will be glad to assist you.
Sounds great. And if we're speaking regarding the next question is we already discussed it, but I would like to combine it with another question which we already have in our chat. So the customer asks, I would like to know the total cost of getting the license, which we already discussed, and also be keen to know the timelines once the application is locked. So first of all, I see also another question, just how can we get the PESEL as the foreigner from embassy, and what will be the overall cost for Polish license? So I would like to explain for all of you that we propose in our practice two ways of obtaining Polish WASP and company information. So it can be done by two ways. First way, it can be done by distance, as the majority of our customers using. So in this case, you will be able to obtain both PESEL and UPAP for all founders directly through the Polish embassy by your current residency. And in these terms, the whole process will take no longer than 45 days. So, and if we're speaking regarding the second way, it can be done directly in Poland. We have our own representative office in Warsaw. So in this case, once you will arrive to Poland in Warsaw, your physical presence will be required for at least and the maximum 2 business days. So where for the first day, we will be able to obtain the necessary identification documents, as already mentioned, both PESEL and UPAP, and apply for the company information, which will be created for the 5 business days. And after that, once the company is created, we'll be able to apply for a crypto authorization, which is virtual asset service provider in Poland, which will be obtained for 10 business days. So literally, whole process takes 15 business days if you will have an opportunity to visit Poland directly. And in terms of the cost, I would like just to not repeat you, Bogdan. If we're speaking regarding the breakdown, so as Bogdan already mentioned, that 8,000 euro is already includes an incorporation. It includes the preparation and application and the obtaining and VASP authorization, registered address annual fees, updating data in a trade and crypto registry in Poland, government fee, obtaining the PESEL and UPAP for all founders, preparation ML policy in both Polish and English languages, and also ML officer preparation. As Bogdan already mentioned, that Poland does not require to have any kind of local employees or local office, but in terms of the ML, this position can be done and his duties can be done by one of the directors or founders. And from our side, in our proposal, it's already including to provide you with a 2-week e-learning courses where in the end you will be able to get a certification and you will have all rights to be at such position. So, and also ML officer is not only important from the side of the Polish authorities, it's also very important to have this position in terms of bank account and payment account opening. I hope I answered to this question, and we can move forward. What is the use of crypto license? Are there any additional benefits, advantages of obtaining cryptocurrency authorization and licensing?
Yeah, so thank you again for the question. If to summarize, I would rather say that there is almost any advantage of operation without license or authorization. So basically, we obtain trust and reputation. We can operate easily. We can have more reputation from the eyes of our clients, regulators, and partners. We can provide directly marketing services using most popular marketing platforms such as Google, Meta, and so on. We can open a bank account in almost any crypto-friendly bank. We can collaborate with the huge crypto companies. So if you want to partner with Binance, with Tether, with with Huobi, with almost any exchange, basically they will require you to have a sufficient legal infrastructure. And in terms of this, obtaining authorization is a necessary minimum to be able to operate responsibly, reputably, and absolutely freely. So I hope that answered your question. The first one that is regarding additional benefits and regarding the usage of crypto license. So as we upper discussed, there are three main opportunities. The first one is operating absolutely without any restrictions in Poland. We can provide direct marketing. We can target our audience. We can basically even make advertisement on the streets and so on based on our authorization. Um, in plus, we can work with European Union jurisdictions, with third country jurisdictions, but without a very aggressive and strict marketing. So basically, if the clients approach us and ask us to provide services, there is any limitations from the perspective of Poland, it's absolutely non-forbidden. And also we can work we can use Poland as a jurisdiction where we legally set up our business to provide virtual asset service provider services to the jurisdictions where it is absolutely unregulated. So, for example, it can be Argentina or Kenya with more than 100 million population, together. So we can find lots and lots of different ways of using crypto authorization. So it all depends on your needs, on your client's geography, and on your business plans. And by setting only one authorization, you can operate internationally, globally, and to expand your business activities.
Thank you, Bogdan. And we would like to go to the end of the Q&A part. Let's take the last question, which we still have. Again, the question regarding the Polish WASP residency requirements, cost, and etc. So literally, Polish WASP regarding the cost, I think we already discussed. Regarding the residency requirements, I think I will still going to have the same point as already discussed regarding the quantity, right, of the founders, which has to be at least 2, and we would recommend it to you. And in terms of the citizenship of and the residency of founders, so it has to be unsanctioned countries. And regarding cost, we already discussed. Maybe you have something to add, Bogdan.
Well, I don't know if we can joke since we are lawyers, but in terms of preparation of this presentation, we try to analyze the most used scenarios for your WASP authorization in Poland, and we even defined that currently in North Korea there is absolutely no virtual asset service provider regulation. So basically, it means that it is possible to operate there without any authorization. But I want to make a huge disclaimer: do not consider it as a legal advice. So we're just joking. I want to add that. Regardless what jurisdiction you are currently choosing, we would like to say that it's always better to operate responsible, to avoid any issues of or reputational damage to your activities. Nowadays, we believe that trust and responsibility is the most significant advantage for almost any crypto platform. And obtaining any license or authorization is a good sign for your company and project to regulator, to clients, and to your partners. And by starting with a single step, you can make a huge crypto empire. So you should just make a single step to work, to operate legally. And from the experience of our clients, in most of cases, you obtain much more possibilities with a legal infrastructure. So I want to thanks a lot for joining us today. If you have any additional questions, we will be more than glad to answer them. And especially, I want to thank those who are visiting not our first webinar. I'm glad that we're building some sort of community here, and we will be glad to meet with you next time.
Yeah. So, and also I would like to remind you once again that we won't skip anyone, right? And regarding the questions which still are open for the discussion, and we will get back to you with the replies via email, Telegram, or WhatsApp. Moreover, I would like to mention that, as always, we are providing some kind of bonuses to our viewers at this time who are joining our webinar until the end. And today is not an exception. So we are suggesting and we are offering for you to get a free consultation from our side in terms of the crypto licensing and crypto regulation for your businesses. So you can easily just put the keyword, which is going to be the Poland, right, which is promo code. And after that, we will be able to provide you with a free consultation based on which we will suggest and recommend you the suitable solutions for your business, for your kind of business model, and on your business, on your final goals. So thank you once again, Bogdan, for this beautiful speech and presentation. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. Follow our social media resources website, and you will get notification about the next webinar, about the next topic. And if you would like to suggest something to us, feel free to contact us regarding the terms which we have to discuss in our next webinar. So I wish you, as always, a nice morning, afternoon, and evening. Thanks for being with us today, and we are looking forward to working with you. See you.
Yeah.
Bye, Bogdan.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone,
Bye.
for joining us, and have a great evening. So remember, see you at the same time, at the same place.